Good morning, everyone, and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff. And yes, you are correct. That is not Mike. That is Jake, sitting in for Mike today, who's off doing something with his lovely wife. Morning, Jake.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. Enjoying a beautiful day here in Maryland. I'll tell you that much.
I love your movie quality intro.
Thank you. I created that myself.
I like that you have Mjolnir in there for some reason, and like stuff flying around, and complete with the Wilhelm scream right before we go live.
Yep. Yep. The Wilhelm scream came about because I used to do what we used to do when Mike and I had our show when we were both in Arizona. I would do these little 10 minutes how to do something painting wise. I do the old painting tutorials, but I never edited my stuff. So when I screwed something up while doing the video, I would then go back when I went back through and added and corrected the audio. I'd add the Wilhelm scream every time I made a mistake.
Oh man!
So
come on.
We have another guest.
All right.
Oh, a guest. Who's this?
This is Bailey.
Hi, Bailey.
The whole time she's been trying to get my cereal that I was eating, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'll pick you up. Hey.
So
she's a rescue.
Ooh, nice
Sweet girl.
She's adorable.
Yeah, she's a good looking pup.
Yeah. I've been meaning to. I've always wanted to get another dog, but I don't think my cat would allow it.
Oh, we have two, and I would love to get more.
Yeah. I didn't pick a cat. The cat kind of picked me. Jack's kind of one day they brought him and his sister home, and he kind of attached himself to me. Hey, look, it's Raymond. Morning, Raymond. How you doing today? Raymond is, as you can tell, he's a League of Votan player and a Chaos player and a Necron player, and he's usually our librarian of all things 40K rules.
Right on.
Yeah, so I'm going to be watching some War Games live, which is why I'm wearing my shirt after the show while I paint today, because they got a big 8-man team tournament going on.
I just put up a bunch of I stayed up late last night. I was putting up all the new releases.
Yeah.
So all the GW stuff, all the new Tau stuff, all that new Kroot stuff looks so good.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful stuff. I'm actually also excited because they're really kind of doing a lot with the Kroot now, where you can actually give that army a lot of variety. You can play all these different ways of going about it. So it's really kind of exciting.
Yeah, the rumor is that we're gonna get there's supposedly a new kill team in the works. There's gonna be a Vespid kill team.
Yeah.
Which is a nice way for them to like kind of sneak them out.
Right.
So fingers crossed that's legit. And then because the Kroot army that I built for 2,000 points it's absurd. I was gonna do all Kroot, and then I stopped because I was like, this is too many models. I don't want to paint that many guys. It's a lot. When I first did it, it was 90 Kroot. 90? Yeah, so it's 60. 60? No, it's 90 Kroot carnivores. It is 60. It's 3 squads of 20. And then for every squad of Kroot carnivores that you run, if you run a squad of hounds, if they're within 12, they get like this like beneficial rule. So I did 3 units of 12 Kroot hounds, and then I did 2 units of Kroot Farstriders.
Right.
Or Far Stalkers, which are the kill team. There's 12 dudes, including 2 hounds, and they have their own like weird special rules, and they have all these like specialist weapons. And then I ran a War Shaper and 2 Flesh Shapers.
Oh wow!
And then I was gonna run 3 Long Spears, and they'd be my fast attack. And then and then I like at that point and then I had 6 Kroot Rampagers, and then 3 Kroot Trucks Riders. And at that point, I still had like a couple hundred points left over, and I was like, this is too many Kroot. Like I didn't think that would be possible, but it's too many. So
too many Kroot.
So I went back and I tuned it down. So I'm gonna end up being I think 60 Kroot, and then I'm gonna do a squadron of Hammerheads, and I'm gonna have them all painted up so they look like they've been on campaign. I'm gonna put like skulls on them and have them all weathered.
Right.
And then I'm gonna do probably I might do a unit of crisis suits and what's his name? Farsight.
Oh
Just
wow.
because Farsight's awesome. Like he's super fun. I just like the way that he's designed.
He's not the samurai looking guy, is he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, okay. That's a gorgeous model.
He's the one that's like kind of not in line with the greater good. He's like kind of gone rogue a little bit. His rules are super cool. Like apparently the Tau are not super long lived.
Right.
Like an old Tau is like 50.
Right.
And he's like a couple hundred years old, and even the ethereals are like, how is he still alive? So apparently the sword that he has is some like ancient relic that predates everything known. It's not Eldar, it's not Necron. They think it could be Necron tier, like from when they were really, really young, or it could be old ones, like, or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah.
So the whole point of the sword is like anytime he kills somebody, it takes the life force and he gets it's like a vampire sword.
Oh wow.
But he has no idea, and nobody has any idea. That's just what it does.
He just like, I've never died.
Yeah, he's so good. He's super fun. But
well, you remember I forget what part of the show. I think it was Tuesday night. We were talking about Adepticon next year.
Yeah,
and you had brought up playing in John's Necromunda games, and I haven't played Necromunda forever, and I love Necromunda, so I jumped online. I was going, what Necromunda team do I want to seriously get? And I came across the I think it was the Outlaws or the Outlander or something, but they came across a squat prospect team.
Oh, the Ironhead Prospectors.
Yeah. So they're on the way.
Yeah, they're great. They're actually scouts.
Or
squats.
Yeah. So I'm going to go that route. So far we've got Raymond and we got Amos. We got a few other people watching this. They just don't comment.
Oh, Amos just posted. I mean, if it's the same Amos just posted his crisis suits in Build Pay Play.
Yeah. And he's done that lovely light blue color for his crew, which I think look great. Really good. So yeah, because he's working on this. He was doing World Eaters. He's a little bit like Mike and I in the fact that he's at work. He'll start talking smack about, well, it was World Eaters prior to now he's doing group. Morning, Tim, and now he's doing the Tau. So I'm waiting till the wind changes directions and he starts another army.
Can I put you down?
David's joined us. Morning, David. David's our world traveler. Well, let's go through the picks from let's start with the Discord. We'll get our Discord stuff done.
All right.
Go through that real quick because there's not a whole lot of those, and then we'll start talking about one of the things I brought. Jake's here for two reasons. First of all, to kind of cover for Mike, who's off doing things with his lovely wife Andy, who's my bestie, as Mike and I always joke about. Mike and I, when we went to LVO, there was something going on. Mike had something, so Andy and I went to lunch, and we sit and talked about Mike the entire way, and her and I became besties because of it. So,
nice.
No, they're out doing some stuff. I forget what it was, but they do it every year. It's kind of a tradition for them. So let's look at the few pictures I have in our Discord. And right now, because of the weather out in Arizona, not a lot of painting going on. Everybody's kind of enjoying the last few days of the weather before it gets massively hot.
It's a nice base.
Yeah, David is doing some base work. I love that. I love good, solid base work, and that definitely is what it is. It's gorgeous.
I tell everybody all the time, it immediately makes a model better.
Absolutely. And when the other side of that coin is very true as well. If you just kind of throw some static grass on the base and move on, that actually kind of takes away from a great paint job too.
I agree. So, static grass, the old school PVA glue and static grass on the base is like my least favorite base.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys do that just to get something on it and so they can go on and play, and I get that. But if you're a really decent painter and you just don't take a little bit of time to make the base look good, it just doesn't sell it as well. And that's a gorgeous base, David.
Well, like back in the day, and I'm sure most of these guys remember this, and you as well. Back in the day, like the only way you could do bases is either GWA, which is you did Goblin Green,
right,
or you did Goblin Green and then you sprinkled flock on it,
right,
or you went to like the model train store and you got all the woodland scenic stuff. So you got like, little bits of shale and like little bits of whatever, or you got like aquarium bits, like, right. But you had to work at it. Now, yeah. It's so easy now. Like there's so many companies that make tons of basing materials, like all the stuff that Battlefront has, or that Battlefront has, like Battlefront has all the the little like there's the urban set and there's the summer set and there's
Yep.
the autumn
The
set.
little hobby rounds. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also have companies like Citadel that makes all the texture paints. Like it's so easy to do now.
Right. Well, then you got AK, you got Green Stuff World. They're just producing stuff. I was actually fortunate. I've always worked in hobby shops, and back in the day, at the train shop, you could actually get these latex molds that you could actually, they were rock facing, and you could actually pour a little plaster in them and make these little bits of rock to get the same kind of effect. Now you can just buy this stuff.
Yeah.
Or do what I do now. I order from Dragon Forge. But the base really makes the model. It really can hit or miss with the model if you don't do it correctly. So, but well done, Dave. Those look great. Those look fantastic. That base is awesome. I can't wait to see everything else done. Dun-dun. And I think this is Don's. Nice. Don is a friend of mine from way back. I know Don from when I ran Waterloo Games, and I think he and I met up when I was working for Hobby Bench before I went to Waterloo. I have a really weird history in Arizona because when I first got there, I started working for Hobby Bench, and then I left Hobby Bench and went to work for Hobby Town USA, and then I went back to Hobby Bench, and then I went to Waterloo. But every store I went to, I brought Games Workshop in, and I slowly developed a following that kind of followed me around the city, depending on where I was working. And Don was one of those guys. And then we used to have, when I was at Hobby Town USA, the shopping center gave us an empty suite that we could play in on weekends. So every Saturday we'd set tables up in this empty suite, and we'd have guys come in and have little events, little tournaments. It was awesome. It was great back in the day, which was a Tuesday, by the way.
Our original store where we first were was the original location of the original or the technically the second Hobby Town.
Right.
So the original Hobby Town company, they started in Boston. The guy behind it was an Army engineer in World War II. And when he came back and started the business in the 50s, he as an engineer, he's the guy who designed the train car linkage.
Oh yeah, okay.
For model rail cars.
Yeah, the knuckles.
At a certain scale, I forget which one, but he actually has a patent for that linkage that they made. It's crazy. So they had 3 locations, and we were in one of the locations. But
wow, that's awesome, Don. This is looking really good, buddy.
Yeah, it looks good.
I remember I've watched Don painting over the years. Don has just improved so much. He's just doing so well. Good stuff, bud. And more stuff from Don. I don't know who this guy is. He looks familiar.
I'm pretty sure that's Old Man Logan.
I think it's Old Man Logan.
I'm sorry, that's just Logan, because that in this one I believe it's him versus Sabretooth, and it comes with the Weapon X bunker.
Yeah.
I see Dante in the background.
I'm holding off on jumping into Crisis Protocol until I'm 100% positive that as they get closer to the release of Fantastic Four, the new movie, which I'm over the moon excited about, they're going to do Fantastic Four for Crisis Protocol, and then I'm all in.
I'm sure they will.
It's like putting Space Wolves in something. It's like, I'm in. I'm good. We can go there. So, yeah. But well done. I like the jeans. I like the denim work there. It looks really good. And this is from Tim. A little John Wick action.
His head's a little big.
I guess these are some 3D prints he managed to score somewhere. So, looking good. I got a bunch of 3D printed Yodas and Mandalorians just from a guy that did them, brought them in. So, and baby Yoda in the cart as well. So, looking good. That's kind of scary.
Slimer.
Little Slimer action going on. Looking good, Tim.
I like it.
And that's it. That's all we have this morning. Not a whole lot. And I'm just gonna jump right into basically Jake and I, as you guys probably know, anybody that watches the show on a regular basis knows that I was had the pleasure of being involved in a Halo 4 Warlords from Build Paint Play. Jake, you want to talk about Build Paint Play a little bit? What you guys do? What you and Dave do?
Sure. So Dave Taylor, who hopefully most of you guys know, Dave Taylor used to be the studio painter for White Dwarf US when Games Workshop used to make a North American version of White Dwarf. Super nice guy. Jeff and I have known him for years. At this one, I've known him for over 20 years. Jeff's probably around the same. Yeah. So Dave and I were just talking I want to say it was like just coming out of the pandemic. we were just kind of like, bored. And I was like, hey, we should maybe hang out and do something. And I was thinking about starting a show where I talk about, 40K lore and gaming lore and kind of, behind the scenes type of stuff. And Dave's like, I kind of want to do another painting show. I haven't done one since he used to be a host on Painting Happy Little Minis.
Yep.
With the guys at Alliance and like our buddy Rick Ankney and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, why don't we like do something together? And I was like, all right. So then we kind of started doing it, and it's been fun. Like we kind of went into it being, if it's just me and Dave talking for an hour and a half every week, like I'm totally fine with that.
Right.
And it still is that very much so, but like, we've had a really good following, and I'm blown away by some of the painters that we have in our following.
Oh my God, they're great.
Like
yeah,
there are some like world-class talent painters that show up every week and, chat and stuff. And it's just been really fun. So we were fortunate enough to get sponsored by the Army Painter.
Right.
And they've been great to us. They've been super nice. And Adam Abramovitz, who works over there, and Kat and all them, they're like good friends of ours, and they've just been great. So then I was like, oh, I guess like there's enough people that like this that we should keep doing it. So it's been fun. But for the Tale of Four Warlords, Dave and I wanted to do like a painting, I don't want to say challenge, but kind of like a painting idea where we would get a couple people, and we grabbed yours truly over here. And then we grabbed John Schaefer, and we decided to do 6 episodes basically leading up to Adepticon. And then we just did a last episode following Adepticon of us literally putting together an army. So like writing up an army list, buying everything and building it, and then getting it painted and then playing a game with it. So we kind of followed the 4 of us doing that. It was fun. And then we had the guys from Iron Wolf Studios, Trevor up in Alaska was nice enough to sponsor that segment of the show and made some really cool dice bags for all of us. Like I've got mine here. These are all custom made. So I did Flesh Eaters, which is a super old school. Now they're a Blood Angel successor, but back in the day they were in the original Rogue Trader book as just one of the 12 chapters that get like teased. Jeff did the Wolf Spear, so I'm sure he's got his bag somewhere. And then
it's behind me, but I got him pictured in the slideshow. So
oh, nice. All right, and then our buddy John did a Night House, and then Dave did his own custom Space Marine chapter. But yeah, I mean that was basically the idea behind it. It was a lot of fun. We got to get a game in, and I mean Jeff got 3 games in that weekend. He played Dave, he played me, and then we played in a big 2-headed match.
Yeah. I've played Dave now 3 times. I played him when we got back to Adepticon, when I took his because I Battlefront carried his big tub, which I thought was full of I thought it was just full of other stuff David needed plus his army. But what I didn't realize until last Tuesday was that gigantic tub I took was his entire army that he painted for Tale of Four Worlds, which was nuts how much he got done. Just insane.
He is saying that it's less, but there is no way that that's less than 9,000 points. It's got to be close to 10,000. He painted more than me and John did combined.
Yeah, and just from the last game that he and I played, like I said, Tuesday night, when he put that, I'm going, Dave, I only recognize maybe 3 units. The rest of this stuff is new. I'm like, holy cow, he's just insane. He paints so rapidly. Let's go through some of the stuff that we had for Tuesday night.
Sure.
And, it was a privilege for me to be involved because Dave and John and you are just, you've been around forever. I've known you. You and I didn't get a chance to interact too much at workshop because I was at the trade office for John and you were up there. But Tale of Four Warlords, Bill Paint Play, sponsored by Army Painter and Armored Wolf. There we go. So I thought I'd throw that in there just to get it started. And then I think we popped right into Dave's huge work.
Yeah. And this is I don't know how many slides of Dave's you have, but it's insane.
I have not played a single model, and I've played 3 games with Dave with the same army, and none of these made an appearance.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of these.
Yeah, I mean, and I love his Icelandic theme. And he just went with generic Space Marines versus, because everyone thinks it should be Space Wolves when they say he patterned it after his trip to Iceland. But he just went straight Space Wolves. I love his caution stripes on the doors. I think that's massive. Me, I love a good caution stripe. That and tactical rocks.
Yep.
So
listening to him explain on our show how he painted the drop pods.
Yes, insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, how he paints them so he gets all the interior. I'm gonna have to have him walk through that again because I've got 6 I'm getting ready to start.
So I know how he does it. So basically what he does is, so the drop pod, when you get a drop pod, it's basically 3 pieces. So there's like the drop pod part, there's the doors or the pedals, and then there's like the interior.
The center stock kind of a thing, yeah. Yeah.
So what he does is he builds the drop pod, but he leaves off 2 of the pieces. So it's like it's instead of being 5 like this, it's just 3.
Got it. Okay.
So then he paints the interior, and then once everything is done, he slides the interior in, and then you rotate it until it lines up with the pillars.
Right.
And then he puts the other 2 pillars on, and then all the leaves go in.
Ah, there you go. All right. Beautiful stuff, Dave. Dave just does great work.
It is insane.
And there's his bag. I've got more pictures of the bag, but there's his bag with the train.
Yeah, that bag is crazy.
Yeah, Trevor, I have placed an order for 6 bags from Trevor.
Our AT's leaving, so.
Take care, Amos. I'll see you later, buddy. See you Monday. So, but yeah, I got more pictures of the bags later on. But
they're so nice. Oh God, here's like his 6 reds.
Again,
when we played, he ran 2, I think.
Yeah, he had. Well, I faced these 2 Brutalis, and I faced whatever these. I keep forgetting what these are called.
Those are the Invictor warsuits.
Right. These 2 I've never seen before. So it's insane. Just so much stuff there. But I think I managed to destroy this one.
Yeah, he started off with the one Redemptor in the back with the pink plasma gun.
Right.
He started off with 1 Redemptor, and then he added a Brutalis.
Right.
And then he added a second Brutalis, and then he added the 2 Invictor warsuits, and then he added the Ballistarius Dreadnought, which is it's the old school Mortis pattern is what it is. It's just the 2 long range weapons.
It's insane. It's crazy. And tanks.
Yep.
I just ordered I think it's called a Gladiator Lancer.
Yep, that's the one on the front left.
Here?
Yep. Well, the one on the right's the same. Yeah, it's the 2 ones on the front row on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I just ordered one of these because I actually put together an actual Space Wolf list. And actually the Gladiator is the only Primaris-esque thing I've put in the army. So, but again,
I mean, it's just a slightly, it's a hover Predator is all it is.
Yeah. So again, just there, and here comes the infantry.
And this is just some of the infantry. This is like his battle line. So this is there's a unit of 10 Infernus Marines in the front,
right there,
and then on the left and in the back, that's 2 units of just intercessors, and then on the right, that's a unit of assault intercessors.
Right. Yep. Gorgeous stuff, and the helmets. I mean, everything about the army is just really unique. I love his comet design for the insignia for the army. Really good stuff.
If Dave wasn't such a nice guy, it'd be so easy to be mad at him.
Well, I think I've told my story here enough about how whenever I'd go anywhere, because Dave within the Games Workshop community, Dave was fairly well known, fairly popular. And anytime I traveled for GW, they'd always, do you know Dave Taylor? And I go, and I got to the point I got asked that question so many times, I started just rolling my eyes. And then I'd go, I hate that guy. Which, if anyone that knows Dave's, someone to say that, they're shocked. Why could you possibly hate that guy? And mine was always, that he paints so fast. It's just insane. So, yeah.
He's got looks like 10 Stern Guard on the right. And then he's got 3 Centurions. Those are the ones he converted. And it's a really easy conversion, but it looks so much better.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
And then the 5 Terminators, and his are cool. Like the more veteran his units are, the more black they have on them.
Yep.
And then that front row is his Blade Guard.
Yep. Nah, I'm loving it. They look great. And yeah, we're not done yet. We're still going.
This is insane.
The Inceptors are crazy. The Aggressors are just insane.
And then are those Those are eradicators in the middle, and
Yep.
then he's got some heavy intercessors on the right.
Yep. Yeah, he's actually adding more heavy intercessors from what he said, just because I was able to in all three of the games he and I played. Once I got my heavy intercessors on an objective, they were pretty tough to dig off.
I see. I don't run any intercessors. My army does not have a lot of shooting. The tanks are my shooting, and then
right.
It's
Well, 30. That's one of the things I'm liking about the Wolf Spear versus my regular Space Wolves. I'm planning on using anything Primaris or what would be considered the new models are going to be in my Wolf Spear. And the army list I wrote for my actual Space Wolves is pretty much old school. It's Grey Hunters, Long Fangs, Blood Claws.
Nice.
I know that recently Sky Claws are what they call Blood Claws with jump packs now. But I'm going to be using all Primaris size figures. But they'll just be Blood Claws and everything else. I went old school Land Raiders, Rhinos, Predators, that kind of thing. So it gives me a chance to kind of play both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So,
right on. Again, at some point, I'm going to redo my Blood Angels. Like I have a Blood Angel list that's all jump packs, but it's all the old kits, and they just look so small now. So at some point, I'm going to redo that entire army and just bring it all up to Primaris scale.
Yeah. No, really good. I mean, Dave's army just blows me away. And also the amount of stuff he has, but also just how well Dave paints.
Yeah,
just a really nice painter, really good painter. And again, we're still not done. We're still going.
Oh yeah, this is just characters.
Yep. And I like the little the names on them.
Yeah,
I have to finish up and get those ordered for my army because I really like that. It really just adds something to the army.
That Heroes box, that Company Heroes box is so good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like how he incorporated some Age of Sigmar stuff into it with the banners and
that thing's awesome. That's just his that's the Blade Guard agent. He just swapped the remember he cut the top off and then his Terminator captain has the top as a shield.
As a shield. It's awesome. It's good stuff. Well done. And we're still going. There we go. I think this is the army I think I encountered the first time.
Yeah, that's what he ran against you.
Yeah. So scary stuff.
I think he said he puts the Blade Guard. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he puts the Blade Guard in the Eradicator. No, wait, that's not right.
The Executioner?
That's what I thought, but I think he puts the Eradicators in the Executioner.
That could be it, yeah.
Yeah, so the 3 Eradicators go in the Executioner, and then he has a squad of 6 Blade Guard with a captain, and he puts them in the regular repulsor. But he should really run, if you're going to do that, he should put a lieutenant with them. Because that thing can hold, I think that thing can hold 12 models.
Right.
So he's only putting half its capacity in there.
Jeff, purveyor of Primaris and Primaris. I have no idea what Raymond's talking about.
It's fake Primaris. That's your other
and Primaris. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's true. I didn't see the quotations. The finger quotes. So, yeah, I'm old school. I like Blood Claws. I like Grey Hunters. I like Long Fangs. Pardon me. I'm old school. I'm old.
Who are the was it Lone Wolves? You can run like the it looks like a scout with a plasma gun.
Yeah, there used to be a lone wolf. That basically he was the only survivor of his entire pack being destroyed. And so he would just be the single model that kind of roamed the battlefield, kind of almost like a Space Marine Slayer.
Yeah.
trying to go out and seek his redemption because his pack had been killed. There's been so many, really cool things that the Space Wolves have done over the years. That they've done for the Space Wolves to give them.
I almost feel like they were like, how can we make them like Space Marines but backwards? You know what I mean? Because it's like okay, so Blood Claws. So our close combat guys are going to be rookies, and you're like, okay, and you're like, and then like our regular line units are going to be veterans, and then our Terminators and leaders are going to be like you're sort of like the Army's elite. And then you're like, well, what about scouts? You're like, oh, Wolf Scouts are like the old guys that are like near retirement. You're like, wait, what?
They're the most experienced.
That's so weird.
Yeah. and they don't get along with anybody. That's why they're scouts.
Yeah, I always thought it was kind of funny that they did it like that.
I love that. I love that about them.
Yeah.
It was just insane. The other thing was the Space Wolves were, for the longest time, were kind of becoming the test bed for new rules, because I remember when they redid the Longfangs, and Longfangs were Blitzskill 5 and could split fire, which eventually got kind of filtered out. The split fire rule got kind of filtered out to other people. So, but yeah, David, you're absolutely correct. Dave's army is insane. I mean, here's some close-ups of it. It's just a beautiful army, and it's such a fun army to play against.
And again, for those of you at home, just so we're all on the same page, Dave painted all of this in like what, 4 months?
Yeah. When you see the other three of what the other three of us did,
it's insane. Like,
it's crazy.
He painted so much. It's unbelievable. And for anybody wondering why his tanks look like that, Dave custom ordered flying bases that haven't arrived, which is why all of his tanks are like sitting on the ground.
Right. Yeah, and doesn't he have those little lightning kind of things he's gonna put on as well, like he did on his on his
bikes. If on his bikes, he has like these cool, like, they almost look like like there's like arc lightning and like, like ground lightning coming off of everything.
Back, see if I can find.
Yeah, there it's on. No, go back. It's on the chaplain. It's on the character page. Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, see him. So it's like hovering, and there's like, like when the Terminator kind of comes through time, there's like lightning arcing off of it, like onto the ground.
Right there.
Yeah. So all of his tanks will look like that. They'll all be hovering with like arc lightning.
Yeah, it'll be great. It's gonna look awesome.
Yeah, his army. Damn you, Dave. He's so talented.
He is. Look, and the helmets. The helmets. I love the helmets. They just really set the army off.
His Centurion conversions are super cool. The reason why the Centurions look better is the Centurions are very like wasp waisted. Like they're super broad up top, and they've got little teeny tiny waists, and then they've got like big chunky legs, but they look weird because their legs end up being like this.
Yeah.
So the conversion is super easy. When you build them, there's a little washer or a spacer that goes in their ankle, because that's like a ball socket joint. And then you put a little spacer at their waist. And then when you put the legs together, you glue them together with you put a spacer between the legs.
They're about 3 millimeter, Dave said. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's using one of their, like, they have these crazy like shoulder pad plates, and that's what those are. And he hung them between them like loincloths almost. And it just covers that. They look so much better. They look so much more realistic.
They do. They absolutely do. They look so much better than like I said, the three I have, had two strikes against them. That's why they're not painted yet. Is they just didn't meet my expectations when I actually saw them in real life. And B, they did nothing until the 5th game.
Yeah. So, they're good. I think the Centurions they're a good unit. Like I would run them over Devastators every time, because they can move, they have a better save, and they technically have one more shot.
Yep.
Because each one of them carries a pair of last cannons, and the smart thing to do is do the missile launchers.
Yeah.
So each one of them basically has 2 last cannons, or a twin last cannon and a missile launcher, and then they all have that. And then if you take the sergeant, and the sergeant has the omniscope, so you can do all kinds of cool trickery with that. Either people don't get cover saves, or like you can add +1 to your ballistic skill. Like this, I forget which one that is, but they changed it for each edition, but they're great. Dave also put a washer in their neck too, so their heads are up higher.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No, they're really good. But again, this army is just phenomenal. It just looks so good.
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
And again, we're still going through Dave stuff.
Yeah, this is just Dave's army.
Oh wait, there we go. All right, now then we get into Jake's army, the bright red boys.
So yeah, as you can see, I did not finish. I am not Dave. So my captain in the front, I'm still working on him. They got the blue base. He's not done yet. And then the 2 sanguinary priests in the white armor, kind of in the middle there. They're kind of lost in the middle. They're not done yet either. And then the tanks, I've only just started the tanks. The tanks they all have their 2-color coat, and then I did a bunch of like washes on them. But I have to go back and clean up the plates and do all the detail. And but they were fun. This is the first fully painted army that I'll have. Well, yeah, in 40K, probably since 3rd edition.
Yeah, this is I fought that army, and it's tough. They have a tendency to get back up.
Yeah, it's a good list. So
Yeah.
basically, the two squads on either side, on the left and the right, are basically identical. It's 10 assault intercessors with a lieutenant and a sanguinary priest, and then they both go in the two red executioner, or the two red repulsors, and then the death company with the chaplain, they go in the death company repulsor, and then the blade guard up front, which is 3 blade guard, a blade guard lieutenant, a blade guard ancient, and a blade guard captain, they go in the executioner. And then the 3 snipers, it's because they dropped the points. Like I had points left over, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll run a unit of eliminators. So the 3 eliminators basically start in cover, and then all the other units basically start like as far up as I can get in the tanks. And it's
you might want to check today because they just did another dust up, and I gained 60 more points.
So if I gain another 60 points, that means I can either run another unit of 3 eliminators, or I could dump the eliminators and I could run I think I could do a 3-man bike unit with a chaplain.
Right.
But I'll probably do 3 more eliminators.
Well, I know they dropped the jump pack intercessors from 85 to 80. And
so I don't have any jump pack dudes. So
yeah, but there was quite a bit of stuff they changed for the Marines, but I ended up gaining 60 points. So, but there's his death company.
Yeah, my sorry for my camera. My camera is terrible, so the lighting is bad and like the angles are.
The next pictures will come out pretty nice. These are kind of the interim ones, which is why I showed these first. But then we get to these. These really kind of give you an idea of what we're. They look really good.
So they're to do black. Like I talked about this on the show with you guys the other day. Like I don't like when people line highlight black. I think it looks weird. Like it doesn't look like black.
Right.
Like no matter how bright or shiny it is, black ceramite is never going to look like it's white or gray. So doing these was really easy. Dave gave me some pointers, and then I did a bunch of test models and kind of messed with it until I found what I liked. So basically I just sprayed them black, and then I dry brush directionally down with, I think I used Inky by Darkness, and then did that once, and then washed the model with Null Oil, and then did it again with Inky by Darkness in certain areas, washed it with Null Oil, then did it again with Thunderhawk, and then hit it with Null Oil again. And that's why, like, on the guy on the left, if you see, is like his helmet has some tones, and his shoulder plates and his rim and the top of his knee. That was like 3 or 4 layers of different blues that I then hit with Null Oil. And it gives them that texture and makes it look like it's real instead of just being a flat black shadow.
Sure.
And then you were nice enough to give me the Reaver helmets, and then I swapped out all the backpacks and the shoulders with the old Death Company sprue, which I actually kind of like, is that the old Death Company backpacks are a little bit smaller, so it makes these guys look like they're hulking. Yeah,
they look much bigger.
But they were fun to do, and then I just kind of like splattered them with some Blood for the Blood God once they were done, and I did a really easy snow base, which is basically just paint the base rust gray. It's whatever the darkest Space Wolf gray is, and then I do some swirls of a lighter blue on it, and then I basically hit it with Valhalla Blizzard, and then leave spots where I can put the tufts on, and then I go back, and any spots that are exposed, I'll paint with gloss so it looks like ice, and then I splattered a little bit with blood, but
it looks good.
Thanks, man. More. Yeah, less is more is absolutely kind of the way.
Absolutely, it looks really good.
Yeah, man, they were fun.
I fought this army. It's a tough army.
I mean, Death Company is always going to be good.
Yeah, Death Company. I did a bunch of Death Company for a guy. I always have a tendency whenever I do for my commission work, whenever I do like a Death Company or a nasty hand-to-hand unit, I put flowers on the base as a counterbalance.
Nice. I like it.
I figure the lovely flowers have to counterbalance the viciousness coming at you.
Oh, dude, my favorite thing about that is when the Russians first invaded Ukraine, there's that great bit of that Ukrainian grandmother going around giving sunflower seeds to all the Russian soldiers that were there. Right. And they're like, oh, they're like, what's this for? And she's like, it's so when you die, sunflowers will grow. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Get it, Grandma.
Woo. So, and then we get to these guys.
Yeah, John's army is incredible looking.
It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
That yellow is so good.
Yeah. This army looks so beautiful on the table. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
All that he's got. I need to get a good camera. Like the biggest thing that's disappointing to me is all the stuff that I sent in. Like they're like people are like, oh, they're really red, and I'm like, that's like 5 layers of red. And like I showed them to a guy in my store, and he's like, wow, these look so much different than they do on the stream. And I was like, it's because my camera sucks. Like I can't really take good photos.
I tell you, I didn't change my camera. I just got an actual booth with a backdrop, and that changed the whole dynamic with the lighting and everything else. It just allowed me to get much better pictures.
I mean, not only is John a phenomenally talented painter, like I mean, he used to be the editor for North American White Dwarf, so I figure he knows how to take good photos.
Yeah, he probably absolutely does. Absolutely does. Yeah. But these guys are fantastic. They also look great.
My favorite thing about these is that they're Bruins colors.
Well, the thing that I can say on the show Tuesday, no one even notices he's got custom decals coming for him.
Yeah,
they haven't arrived yet.
Yeah, all of their like right hand yellow shoulder pads are all going to have custom decals and stuff.
Yeah. Morning, Victor. So gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah,
and he did all the custom cutting on the legs and stuff.
Yep. Some resin stuff in there as well. So
yeah, when we played in the two-headed game, Dave and I focused all of our firepower on this guy.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was like, this thing needs to die before it starts murdering our whole board.
Yeah, that's the one when I looked over at Johnson. Wasn't there a knight there? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh no. Not good. Oh.
Yeah, this one's my favorite. That one there killed a whole squad of my intercessors.
Yeah. This is phenomenal. And Dave, if your base, just the base you showed earlier, if your models were anywhere near as nice as that base was, you're fine, dude. Do not underestimate yourself, my friend. But yeah, John did a phenomenal job. But I'm about ready. One of the reasons I'm kind of cranking through these a little quickly is because they're gorgeous, and that speaks for themselves, for itself. Just the colors are fantastic. The detail, the work, the custom conversion stuff he did is just beautiful.
I liked it on all their close combat weapon arms. He did like stripes.
Yeah. Just absolutely gorgeous stuff.
Oh, this, are you going to show the? Oh, do you have the eye?
I do have the eye.
Oh,
I did. And this is the this is his assassin that he's converted, which I think is a much better pose than the one it normally comes in.
Oh yeah, I agree. That Callus assassin looks great. The one that's like dropping in, like she's like swinging off a trapeze. I don't like that.
Yeah, no,
she looks great.
Yeah, he's done some really nice work there. Yeah, I watched John. John's done a couple. He did a similar thing with Miniac that I watched just before Build Paint Play started. The Build Paint Play Telefor Warlords, but it's just gorgeous work. John just does such good work.
Yeah, he's great.
This is the guy here, and the reason I want to show this is this eye.
He did a reflection of like a burning cityscape.
Yeah, that's just gorgeous. I love that.
It's pretty nuts. Like John is super talented.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely nuts. It's gorgeous. So impressive.
Yep, it is great.
Yeah. And then we come on to mine. There's everything I painted.
these are great. Like you did a great job with these guys.
I'm really happy with them. They come out nice. There's some things I want to go back and kind of add to them. Like I've got capes for my Terminators and other things, but
no capes.
No capes. Yeah, I have really nice capes I got again from Archie's Forge out of the UK.
Hey, so question for you: the was it the Stormfang?
Here, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many models can that carry?
I believe it can carry 12.
Now, is that the transport version or is that the gunship version?
Oh, yeah, this is the gunship version. They can carry 6. The transport can carry 12. there's the Storm Fang and the Storm Wolf. The Storm Wolf is a transport. It can carry, I believe, 12 or 15.
I think
And
it's 12.
the Storm Fang, which is the gunship, can carry 6.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what else you could put in there. Like, I love Reavers. Like, I really do. I just think the Fangs of Mordecai,
the Hounds of Mordecai are a massively specialty unit that, unless you're a Space Wolf, not really has no purpose.
Well, but again, like they're just Reavers with an extra rule.
A couple extra rules, actually. But yeah.
Right, but I mean, but they do all the same stuff that Reavers do.
Mm-hmm.
So the only problem with them is like I feel like I don't know, like when you dropped them against me, like they literally dropped in and got murdered, and I was like, I was like, what could you do with that unit that'd be more effective? Because the librarian is great, but his ability is like he wants to be with them, so you can't shoot them. But if you're in a vehicle, you can't shoot them anyways.
Yeah, against Dave's army, he had an actual librarian on the table.
Okay,
and that made him a little bit better. But yeah, no, they're. I think the thing with them is that I've got to find the best way to use them. But I'm a Space Wolf nut, and I love the story behind them, so that's why I have them. And I've already got 10 done for my actual wolves, my regular Space Wolves.
I like them a lot, but I almost feel you'd be better off in this particular army. I almost feel like you'd be better off starting them on the board using their infiltrate rule with the librarian, and then you can't shoot at them because he shrouds the unit. And then in the Stormfang, put like 3 eradicators.
Actually, what's in there right now is the plan. Is I have 3 aggressors.
The aggressors are good too. The aggressors are good too. The eradicators, I just think like if you're going to send that thing out tank hunting, you just dump 3 eradicators on somebody and just like melted the shit out of it.
That's not a bad call. Not a bad call. But yeah, this is what I managed to get, and I did not finish. But I have JP Guy Rockets posted a comment. He wants to see somebody do an intercessor about heavy intercessors. He's not heavy. He's my brother.
It should say he ain't heavy. He's my bolter.
He's my. But I threw that one in there just for the heck of it. So that was my response to his comment.
Your army looks great. Like I really like the white. It's so clean. You did all like the squad markings, which I really appreciate. The Sky Claws are probably my favorite. Like they look rad.
The jump pack intercessors.
Yeah,
they look good. I'm happy with them. But this is the last unit I painted before the show. I have the Straps and the bolt gun as an experiment. I'm not sure if I like that yet or not. So
I like it. It's very Iron Warriors, so I like it.
So, but there they are. That's the last squad I finished. Before I had to go and admit that I came up short.
When I see those guys, like go back one. Like when I see those guys look like an AI's representation of Space Marines. Because like when I see Space Marines, like Space Marines have a very specific look, and then these guys. These look like Terran Marines from StarCraft.
Right. Yep.
Like they have like the bubble top helmets and like the giant backpacks and like the huge moon boots and stuff. Like they're ridiculous.
They're kind of chunky. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I really like heavy intercessors. They're actually really good for holding objectives. So I just wish they had the bolt gun. The bolt gun is pretty nice. They just need some additional firepower to support them, which is what I'm trying to work on getting in the game right now. So
they're almost like they almost remind me of like back in the day when you'd run like a unit of Devastators with 4 heavy bolters.
Yeah,
that's basically what they are.
Yeah. But this is what I didn't get done for my original 2,000 points, which are the other 2 squads, the heavy intercessors and the Centurions, which led me to my box of shame.
Again, dude, you and I are both there. Like I was the same thing. Like I came up 3 minis are half done, and I have 4 tanks that are started.
Yeah. Well, the funny part about that, when I sent that gift to Dave, that actually when you animate it, there's 2 eyeballs that come peeking out of the top, out of the window. But now playing you guys has inspired me to add some stuff to my army, which is what we're going to talk about now. So I have added these to the army.
Yep. Having those tanks are no joke.
Yeah. No, there's my regular repulsor. There's my repulsor executioner. And I've added these guys, which are my Outriders with a chaplain on bike, with the Space Wolf, the Primal Hounds conversion bits on the sides. So you have a skull there, some horns off the back, and then that side plate that really adds to those bikes to give them a lovely look.
I like them. They look great.
And,
the only advice I would give you is get 3 more Outriders. Right, like the most effective way to make that unit work is 6 bikes and a chaplain.
Yeah. I've got both. Both those are done. I've got them all. I haven't assembled those yet. Sometimes I just like to sit and build stuff, and I wanted to see how those accessories added to the bikes, and I really like how they look.
Yeah, they look awesome.
Good stuff. And then I've added this guy, my Captain and Gravis armor with some Space Wolf extra stuff, the shoulder pad, and that lovely axe again from Archer's Ford.
Great.
Yeah, so looking really good. And then I'll be working on this in the near future.
You're making Bjorn, right?
Yeah, this is going to be my Bjorn. He's going to be my Bjorn equivalent for my Wolf Spear.
Yeah.
So I haven't given him a name yet. So, but that's the accessory pack for the from the Primal Hounds. So
that's
and I'm working on a custom plate here that I haven't. That's why I haven't put it on yet. None of this part isn't glued on yet. So
that's really nice.
Shoulder pad, cape, or that's actually the loincloth, whatever you want to call that hangs down between his legs.
Tabard.
There we go, tabard. And there's the back where the big horns, the big tusks hang off the back.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be so awesome when it's done. And then this is something, because I agree with what you're saying about grab vehicles and the base. So I'm experimenting with that larger base to see how that looks. Because I've also raised it up about 1/4 inch. So we'll
I don't know what I'm gonna do for mine. Like right now, I have them on just like the acrylic circles,
right,
that they come with.
Right.
So they're just sitting on that. So they are elevated, but like they're a little tippy. So what I might do is I'm trying to find. There's a company that makes an acrylic. It almost looks like the bottom of a wine glass.
Right.
Yeah, like it almost looks like that.
Yeah.
And they're like 3 inches across. So what I might do is I might get one of those, chop it a little bit, and then glue that on top of it. So it's just on like an acrylic foot.
Oh, that'll work. So,
and that way it'll be whatever the battle mat is that we're playing on. It'll just match that. So
just going back to our conversation about a base, I just wanted a base on it, and so I bought those from Dragon Forge to give it that kind of a feel.
Right.
So and then I'm going to put some foliage around that so you don't see that clear piece as easily. So and again the build paint play Tale of Four Warlords was all dice bags. I forgot dice bags.
Yep.
There's Dave's dice bags. Or dice bag, I should say. There's yours.
Yeah, dude, they look so good.
Now, I couldn't get a picture of John's because we kept John's secret. So all I have is there's mine, which is, and I found out what makes those metal plates so nice. They're a security feature.
Yeah, they're real metal.
Yeah, if somebody comes on, I have poked myself 3 times now on mine because I didn't grab it. I just grabbed it without looking at it. So I figured that's a security feature. Somebody tries to grab your bag and run, they're going to get one of those points in their hand.
And you are 100% going to get tetanus because that's like just real metal.
Absolutely.
When he did mine, he's like, "Oh, do you want to do metal?" I was like, "You don't do any metal on mine, thanks."
This is the beginning work of John's bag, and where he's tooling the leather, and then they got to this point, and I don't have a better bag, but that's actually the bottom piece of John's bag, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they look so nice.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And all of this stuff was sponsored by Armored Wolf, who did the bags. Definitely check him out online. Like I said, I've ordered 6. 2 of them are for me. I got a regular Space Wolf bag coming and a Votan bag coming. Then I've got 4 really good commission customers that have on their next that I've got commission sitting here for, that I'll be sending them a dice bag with their commission work. So and also, so he was one of the sponsors for Tale of Four Warlords, as was the Army Painter.
Yep. The Armor Painter is a show sponsor. They sponsor our whole show.
You're right.
Armored Wolf did that 6-episode segment.
Yep. But then Army Painter also, just because they sponsored the show, they made it all possible as well. So
yeah, for sure.
That's why I threw both of them in there. But that is the wrap up for the Tale of Four Warlords, which I was massively honored and proud to be a part of. And had a ball.
We were happy to have you. It was awesome. I was glad we got to hang out. We talked about it last time. I think the last time the four of us were all in the same building was probably Games Day, like 2005 or 2006.
It was a long time ago. We've been joined by Huron and Dave Hummels with us. So
welcome. Dave
it's been a while.
Dave's probably heard a lot of this because we went over this on Bill Play, but it was kind of nuts. By the way, you're right. I just pulled up my army builder, and my army, and now instead of being 5 points under, I'm 5 points over.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know what changed, but something went up by 10 points, and now my army is illegal.
I have to say, with 9th edition and 8th edition, there was so much stuff going on. I found it almost impossible to keep up. But 10th edition is a much smaller chunk of stuff. So, and I've kind of now gotten to the habit of checking every 90 days. And the app also makes it insanely easy to write a list now. But yeah, that was Tale of Four Warlords that we did over the last several months, and it was a lot of fun. I'm going to continue. I'm going to knock out my wolf spear before I start anything else, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll probably start chipping away at my my Necromunda group for Adepticon.
Nice. So yeah, that's the plan for us for next year. Right? We're going to try to all do Necromunda gang so we can hang out with John and play some Necromunda.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny during the show. He had his Necromunda friends over, and they were getting pretty rowdy there for a while.
We could hear him in the background. I was like, "What's all that noise?" He's like, "Oh, I got a bunch of my friends who are playing Necromunda."
I haven't played Necromunda in forever, so I think the last Necromunda I played was when they did was it Shadow Sword or when they did that quick release before they relaunched Necromunda, which it was just a venue to get more terrain out, but it was literally edition 2 of Necromunda verbatim. They literally just basically took the text and put it in a new book. So,
are you talking about
whatever that short-lived game?
Shadow War Armageddon?
Shadow War Armageddon, yeah. That was Necromunda 2.0 verbatim.
Yeah. It was literally they wanted to test the market and put in stuff that people would want, which is orcs and space marines, and see if it would sell. And it was like Adam Pratt, who I'm sure you remember. Adam Pratt was another XGW guy. He bought it, and we were reading through it, and he was like, "It's Necromunda." I was like, "What?" He goes, "It is literally line for line Necromunda. There's no difference." And I was like, "Okay."
Darren and I were at Gamma when they were debuting it, and we sat down, and that was back. I think Andre was still there, and we sat down at the table, and we started looking at it, and the guy that was running, I think it was Andre, he goes, "You guys need any help?" And Darren and I are like, "No, this is Necromunda 2.0. We got this." And we played.
I played this. Yeah, you're like, I played this 20 years ago. I know exactly how to do this.
We got this. And so, but I'm really kind of extreme. So, and then when I was going through and I found that they have those squats, I'm like, okay, I'm sold. Because back in the day, the only armies I played were Space Wolves and squats. That was it.
I really want to do the Arbites, but I have the Eldar Corsairs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got when Ben bought the box, we split it, and I really wanted the Eldar, and I haven't touched them, so I'll probably just throw them together and do the Corsairs. I love those models. I was like, Pirate Eldar, like that's amazing.
You can't beat that. Yeah, absolutely. At one point in time, I had a dream of doing with Necromunda what I've done with Blood Bowl, which is I have pretty much everything that's available for Blood Bowl. And but Necromunda, I can't do both.
all I have for Blood Bowl is I have a Wood Elf team.
Blood Bowl is my single favorite game ever. I love Blood Bowl because it's the only game out there that basically the dice keep everybody humble.
I get really lucky. I think part of the reason I play Wood Elves is like I want it to be high scoring, and I'm usually pretty good with dice. So I was playing some kid this is probably like 2 years ago. We had a Blood Bowl league at the store, and he showed up and he had a black orc list, which is
Right.
they're rock solid. They're
Oh my
really
God,
hard
yeah,
to hurt.
they're
It's a good
horrendous.
list.
Absolutely.
So we start the game. He kicks off to me. I scored a touchdown in one turn. So I basically I ran a guy up the board and left him right outside the end zone, and then had my whole line basically pull back, and I ran my quarterback with the ball, and then I have a tree man in the middle of the board that I basically don't move, and I just left him there.
Well,
so
he doesn't. Moving is the one thing he doesn't do well.
Yeah, he's not good at that. So I was like, cool, I'll stay here. And then he got to move to try to get to me, and he's not fast enough. So he injured one of my linemen, and that's really all he did. And I was like, cool, I'll throw a long bomb. And it's well, you need this. And I was like, cool, got it. Rolled a 4. I'm like, so I made the pass. I'm like, okay, I got to make a catch. And he's like, well, okay. So he's like, you got to make a catch. I was like, cool, I made it. And then he's like, okay, cool. So I was like, I didn't even have to go for it. I just moved into the end zone. That's it.
Yeah.
So then, so I scored, I think the final score was I scored 3 touchdowns and he had none. So for the rest of the game, he was just trying to injure my team. So what I would do is he kicked off to me, and I had 3 guys in the line because you have to. So I had my tree man and 2 linemen, and then I had everybody else just back up.
Yep.
And he kept trying to by the end of the game, he kept injuring just linemen. So I think he knocked 4 linemen out of the game.
Right.
Couldn't hurt the tree man, obviously. And then I kept all my skill players away from him. But the best play of the game was I kicked off to him, and instead of trying to get the ball, he just tried to hurt my team. And I was like, all right. So I had my war dancer, they have leap. So I jumped over his line, picked up the ball, and ran to the end zone. And then I went for it twice. So I went for it, got in the touchdown. I was like,
yeah. Woodulph and Skaven are because those teams are so bloody fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually like pounding on Wood Elves. Skaven give me a harder time than Wood Elves do. So,
yeah, well, the Skaven have all the tricky rules and stuff, and they're all armored, so they can do cheap shots and stuff. The Wood Elves don't have that; they're just fast.
Prehensile Tail's also a pain in the rear.
Yeah. Oh God, Prehensile Tail's a great one.
When I mentioned that I have everything for Blood Bowl, Dave goes, and I'm called a hoarder. Well, if you think that's hoarding, you should come over to my house and play Man of War because I have all of that too.
Yeah, I haven't seen Man of War in forever. I still have for old school stuff. I have Space Hulk. I have a bunch of Battlefleet Gothic stuff. I still have some fantasy stuff. I just picked up the Green Knight again in metal.
Right. I just finished a commission for a Green Knight.
Oh, he's so good. That's my favorite model in the fantasy range.
He's a gorgeous model.
He's just so good.
I had back in the day with my Bretonians, I had an entire Grail Knight unit, Grail Knight Lance formation that was all done with Green Knight horses that I cut up and put in different positions.
Oh,
so
that army's the Bretonians are great. They're such a great list.
Do you remember when you'd go to the Glen Burnie office to interview, and one of the things you got during your interview was you got to go pull metal back when you could actually pull metal?
Yeah.
I walked back to get got a free kilo of metal. My kilo of metal was all Green Knights. The horses. I bought an entire kilo of nothing but Green Knights horses, and I cut them apart and made a Grail Knight unit out of them.
I still have a bag full of, I think it's all heads. It's all heads and backpacks because I used to do all the head swaps. So I have a bunch of the old school metal Raptor backpacks.
Right.
Those are great. I use those on all my characters. I think I'm done. I think I used my last one on I did a World Leaders Champion that I'm going to paint for Horus Heresy. Right. And he's got lightning claws and his armor's crazy. And I gave him the old school Raptor backpack, but yeah, those models are awesome.
I used to love when John would have me take guys back after their interview for no matter what they're interviewing for, he would have me take them back to the metal room, and we'd be talking. We'll see. They go, what is your employee discount? Which is a question everybody asks after they're out of the interview when they're doing the tour and stuff. And you tell them, and back in the day it was significant. They go, oh, cool, I'm going to spend less, and I just go, no, you're not.
No, you're going to spend more.
You're going to even if you spend the same, you're just going to get more. So So it's crazy. But anyway, Jake, thanks for joining us this morning. We've been on for about an hour. I have a lot of stuff staring at me. Want me to get started painting on it?
Right on. No, I gotta get to work, but before I leave, I gotta DVR the Bruins game because I'm gonna be at work while that's happening. But
gotta do that. My DVRing sports events comes in the fall.
Oh, you're a football guy?
I'm a football guy. And now the reason I'm a football guy is I've always wanted to get into hockey, but no one growing up I knew was into hockey. So I don't. To me, it's a sport that I look at and go, gee, I wish I could understand it.
And, I love it. It's so like my favorite sports to watch are hockey, lacrosse, and soccer, and they're all the same rules. It's part of the reason I hate basketball, because basketball is technically the same rule set, but it's not because of the way they've converted it. Right. So, but lacrosse, hockey, and soccer are all zone-based defensive sports. So it's typically a rectangle or an oval you're playing on. You have your defensive end where your goalie is. There's midfield or center ice or whatever. And then there's the attacking end where the other goalie is. Right. So the reason I like all of them is they're all basically played a very similar way. And it's like football. Once you understand one of them, you're like, oh, I get it. Like, this totally makes sense. Right. So if you ever want to learn hockey, man, I will watch it with you online streaming, and I will teach you. Maybe
between you and Greg, I can get hockey figured out, because I've always wanted to get into it, but never have. And Rich is amazing as Blood Bowl.
And I still play. I play every Wednesday night.
My football playing days roll. I have retired to full-time armchair quarterback. So there you
nice.
Go. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us today. Mike and I'll be back Mike will be back with me next week for another show. And again, make sure you check out Tuesday nights, 7 Eastern Standard Time for Bill Paint Play. I think you're having, is it Sam Lenz on this week?
Yeah, Sam Lenz will be on this week. Another world-class painter. So
we had him scheduled to come out to Imperial Outpost Games for a painting class, and then the whole COVID thing, and it just didn't happen. So.
Yeah, COVID screwed up a lot of stuff. It monkey wrenched a ton of plans that I think a lot of us had. So
yeah, but it should be a good show. So definitely check it out. I'll be there watching every week. You have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. Thank you so much, Jeff. Again, it was a pleasure being on covering. I was honored to try to fill in for Mike while he's out having fun with his wife. No, that's all I got. Yeah, if anybody needs anything, obviously they can message us on the Bill Paint Play Facebook page and post anything you're working on. Dave and I will talk about it. Spread the word, like and subscribe. It helps us out, just like everything else. When this is done too, make sure you guys post in the comments and share it. It helps out we always need to be constantly trying to outsmart the algorithm. So we appreciate all the help you guys give us.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in. You're welcome anytime you want to jump in. Until then, guys, keep posting stuff on our Discord. I know it's been hot out in Arizona, so hopefully we'll see some more stuff up there soon. And we'll see you guys next week. See ya.